Alright, hello everyone. Welcome back, and today we're going to start talking about reading tape measures. This is going to be one of the fundamental things that you need to do when you're working with blueprints or building anything really. It's just knowing how to measure stuff. The biggest thing to know is that when it comes to reading your tape measure is that you need to understand how an inch works. And from 0 to 1 or 1 to 2 or any of the numbers in between, it doesn't really matter. You're going to have your big marks and then a bunch of little ones in the middle. The first one to make note of is your half mark. That's going to be dead in the center. It's going to be the easiest one. It's going to be the second biggest line. The biggest lines are going to be your full inch. The next biggest one is going to be half inch. From there, you're going to have your quarter inches. And you're going to have 1/4 and 3/4. And if you see something asking for 2/4, 2/4 is your half inch. From there, you're going to have your eighths. They're going to be right in between. You're going to have 1/8, 3/8, 5/8. I have no idea if that's right. And then you are going to have 7/8. And if that looks weird, I'm writing this upside down, so my apologies. From there, you're going to have your 16ths. They're going to be in between every single one of those. Now these are your basic ones. 0 to 1, your quarters, your eighths, and then your 16ths in between. Sometimes those things will call for 30 seconds. And a 30-second will be right in between the 16ths. If it's not on your tape measure, which most of the time you will not see 30 seconds on the tape measure, you just have to realize that there's going to be a clear space in between each mark on your tape measure, and all those little clear spots in between, you can just imagine where the half mark is. 30 seconds is not super big in the welding field. When you start getting into like machine operating and stuff like that, they typically do stuff in metric anyway, so 30 seconds isn't super big to them. But sometimes things are called within the 30 seconds, so knowing where it could be is important. Of course, if you're going to have something that's measured in the 64th, that would need to be between the 30-second marks. That's just how that works. So all this is you just keep dividing this in half, and then in half, and in half, and you'll get more and more marks. And it can continue forever. But knowing your 16ths, your 30 seconds, your eighths, your quarters, and your halves, and your whole numbers are going to be the big ones for when it comes to welding. Now, the best thing you can ever do to get to know how to use a tape measure or work with it is honestly grab a piece of metal, or grab anything, honestly. I got some metal for a project I'm going to use, and I'm just going to take my tape measure and measure it. This one's reading 5 inches. So let's do 5 inches. I'll come the other direction, and it's reading 4 3/4. So I know that's 5 3/4. When I look at it, like I said, right on that whole line for 5. I want to do it the opposite way. Let me see if I can find a spot right here. You see that third biggest line, that's my 3/4 line. So I go 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, there we go. I go to another piece, a little bit bigger. And I'm gonna measure it. And you see I got 12.5. So 12.5 by 6 3/16. Now, to show it on your side, I came over and you see, get right down there. I'm right at 12, and there's the middle line, the second biggest one. And it's a little bit over. I could say that this is in the like 12 and 17 30-seconds if I really wanted to go super deep into it. But that could also be because there's a twist in the tape measure to show you this, or that's just a random spot on this metal. But like I said, a 30-second, not a super big deal all the time. And then the 6 3/16, come up and see with this one I can get a little bit closer. This one really is more into the 30-second spot. Once again, perfectly fine if you just want to go to the 16th mark. It's close enough, but sometimes they are a little bit more picky and they want that 30 seconds. So the closer you can get to it, the measurements wanted, go for it. Here's my neck size. Got 10 1/8. And if I go this way, 8 3/16. And like I said, the best way for you to get good at using the tape measure is to just use it. Study your diagram, know what the measurements are, understand fractions a little bit, and then use the tape measure. And go out and measure stuff. I want to know how long this dry erase marker is. Grab it from one end, go across. I see 4 3/4. There we go. I have my phone case. That's off my phone at the moment. 6 3/4 by 3 1/4. I got this pink monster can, and I got 6 1/8. Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit more difficult, but it'll be roughly 2 5/8. About 2 5/8. But that's all you're gonna do. That's how you're gonna measure it. You're gonna work with this simple diagram, understanding that you got 16ths between each one and then 30 seconds between each one of those as well. Those are the basic fractions. You wanna know your whole numbers, halves, quarter, eighths, 16ths, 30 seconds. You understand those, that's all you need. That's gonna be the basis to get you at least the starting. Of course, if you go into pipe welding and stuff, it can get a little bit more tricky because then you work with degrees, but we will get into degrees later. The biggest thing to know right now is just the basics. We'll build off of that. Thank you.